everyone. Welcome back to Car Chat. I'm here with my friend Carlos. Hi, Carlos.
Hello. How's everyone doing?
Everyone doing well, I think. Thank you, everyone that has been watching our episodes. Really appreciate the support and all the interaction on social media. Today, we're going to talk about quite a personal but interesting topic, I think. Carlos and I, for how many years? Many years, have been talking about cars that we wish car manufacturers were building at the moment, but they're not, right? So this is our personal wish list of cars that we think will be interesting in the marketplace. And perhaps because, we have some affinity to some older models or things like that. And we're going to explore a little bit of that. I got a list of 3 cars. I got more, but I'm going to talk about 3. And Carlos, I think you're going to cover your 3. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So let's jump into the topic quickly, right? I'm going to start. This has been on my mind for a long time. I just love, as everyone else, the Ford GT. It's a beautiful supercar. It's big in size. Do I agree with the engine selection for that one with the V6 EcoBoost? Not necessarily, but that's a separate topic that we can cover in a different podcast. But at the end of the day, I think that car is hyper expensive, as everyone knows. You have to get an allocation in order to even buy it. If you buy it, you can't sell it because Ford makes sure that you're not able to sell it at least for a couple of years.
Right.
Either way, it's an exotic car and it's stunning. The design is incredible.
Oh, love it.
I just wish that there was a mini Ford GT, or I'm going to call it the Ford GT Junior, right? Which is a car that in my head will be between $80,000 and maybe up to 100 with options, and that can compete with other mid-engine cars like the Porsche Cayman and some of the Lotus that is coming out soon, the Emira. Sort of that segment. I think if Ford will build a smaller version of that car that wouldn't cannibalize the sales of the Mustang, because I know, muscle cars is a whole separate topic. I think will be a sweet addition to the Ford lineup, and it will fill a need in the marketplace. It will look exotic. It will be reliable. It would sell like hotcakes. Take my money now, Ford Motor Company. If you're listening to this, if you want my money, I'll give you some money now in order to get my hands on a mini Ford GT. So that will be my first one, Carlos.
What kind of engine would you put on it?
Oh, I mean, you could put the V6, right? And a smaller car. I think it will be fast. I mean, you can make a turbo. You can do many things. You don't need a V8 on that car. You don't want, the Mustang engine. Again, Ford needs to stay away from cannibalizing Mustang sales, and I totally get that.
Right.
But this is a car that will come into a segment where there's not that many competitors that will look so good and that will have that level of performance.
Like maybe a smaller V6
that's
on
an
it?
Opportunity.
Maybe like a smaller V6 on it, right?
Yeah, why not?
Smaller
Make it
V6
lightweight,
turbo,
right?
that could fit in the works. Yeah, we got that idea.
With
That's
the same aerodynamics. I mean, the aerodynamics on that car are like, incredible. Again, I think that's probably number 1 on my list, if I'm honest.
Sweet.
Right?
That's sweet.
Yeah. So what's your first one, Carlos?
Well, in no particular order, I can tell you, I really like the small convertible car like the Miata size, right? And because of the size, a lot of manufacturers are perhaps somewhat shy or afraid of putting a little bit of extra power on it. But I've always thought going back to an inline 6 on it, with a 6-speed trans on it, manual, how sweet would that be for those that not necessarily want to track them, but want to go touring on the car and enjoying something that has a little bit more oomph. And a lot of people have said that car has just the right amount of power, and it does. They do it on the track, but it could be a version of it car that just doesn't have that purpose. That is for track. It's more for going out
Right.
on a Saturday and a Sunday drive, top down with V6 running, inline, beautiful, well balanced, with a very nicely put 6-speed trans on it. It would be a very, very nice vehicle on the road. And it's been a very long time since you've seen one that is an inline six on a
Right.
convertible size. Like, go back to the days, maybe MGs, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
we haven't seen that in a long time, and that will be interesting to see. That's just
That
my
will be
take.
very interesting. Take my money now, Mazda. Yes, absolutely. I think that will be
Ooh,
good.
there you
Ooh,
go.
my second one, let me tell you and I have a particular passion for it, is the BMW. I'm gonna call it the Z or Z5, they would say in the UK. Yeah.
Okay.
Again, I came up with a name. This is the successor to the Z4. Currently, we have a Z4, which is, the car that BMW built along with Toyota, that became the Supra, right? So they're sharing the platform and parts and all of that. My feeling is, if you want a Supra, you buy a Supra. And I don't feel that BMW is selling at all. It looks dated. It looks like, for older people. It looks
Mhm.
like a Mercedes SL. Yeah, it's got luxury. To be honest, I haven't seen one on the road. That tells me something. I don't think that car represents what they intended the car to be when they launched the C3, in 1997, I think it was. It came out as a James Bond car in GoldenEye.
Right.
And I had that car. I actually had two of those cars because I then bought another one later and restored it. The Z3 or C3 was meant to, honor the British sort of roadsters of the 1960s, long hood, right? Pure
Mhm.
roadster, very analog, fun car, little car. The dimensions were perfect. The Z4 came after that. I didn't like the first iteration. I had the second iteration. So I've had two C3s and a C4.
Mhm.
And then this one came out now, which I totally hate. And I'm thinking they should go back to their roots, the original intent, build a proper roadster, right? Put some power in it, make it smaller, go back to what the C3 was and make it the C5, right? And walk away from the Supra.
Mm.
Trust me. That will be my proposal for BMW. If you're listening, BMW, and you want my money now, just let me know, because I will be super interested in that car. Yeah.
That's
What's
interesting.
your next one, Carlos?
Well, interesting you mentioned the word analog. Honestly, the next one it comes to my mind, it's more of a concept car that may follow some of the traditions of what a 240C used to be, right?
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
my mindset would be something brought into modern interpretation and what that may look like. And it's not exactly what the C is coming out nowadays, Nissan, with the latest version. But I would love to see something that, if possible, it would be loaded with analog interface. None of the
Right.
digital stuff. Make it
Yes.
analog. I would challenge engineers to say, deliver an analog car, make it a driver's car, and give us that shape
Yes.
that we really enjoy so much, with a long nose, rear-wheel drive power like the old 240Z. That would be
Exactly.
very, very nice to see in the market.
That would be amazing. I agree with you. And I think the the 400Z is coming out. I think it's gonna be a hit. It's simple.
Agree.
It's not busy in the design. It's not like the Supra that has curves all
Yeah.
over the place and holes all over the place. I think that car, I can't wait for it. It would have made my list, but now it's become reality, right? So
Yeah.
if somebody's listening, maybe our ideas, who knows, Carlos? We might be
Who
onto
knows?
something here.
Yeah,
Who
you can
knows?
only hope for.
You can only hope. All right, let me
Yeah.
tell you my third one, and it's a reinterpretation or relaunch of my all-time favorite car, which could be another episode, right? But my all-time favorite car, the one that if I win the lottery, the first car that I'm gonna try and buy is, the 1972, 73, 74 Ferrari 246 GT Dino.
The
So it's the
Dino.
car that preceded the 308 platform, right? To me, the most beautiful car ever. That's just me, right?
Right.
Sexy curves. It had the intakes and the doors that now were part of Ferrari from then on. And there's been rumors about, creating another sort of Dino at some point. As we know, Dino Ferrari was Enzo's son, so he named the car after his son.
Right.
And I think there is a need for that, and it might be the baby Ferrari, right, or the entry level Ferrari. It could be positioned as that, a smaller car. Not, as you can see, Ferrari is going like bigger, like Lamborghini. They're going bigger and bigger, wider and wider. A reinterpretation of that car will be, I think, amazing. Now, they might not want to cannibalize the sales of their more powerful cars, perhaps, but that's a perfect car for a V6, perhaps a V6 turbo, smaller in dimensions, bring back the curves. You can keep the chrome. I get it, right? And you can make it a roadster. You can make it a coupe. I think that will be like amazing. And I won't say Ferrari take my money now, because I don't think I will be able to afford it. But
hey, but you say it was an entry.
I think that, well, entry level. I mean, you never know, right?
Well, you got to think about entry level. What is entry level for Ferrari nowadays?
Right, exactly. There's no entry level, first of all, because you can't buy it because you need an allocation and it's impossible to get, right?
Yeah, I hear you.
That's another topic for an interesting,
yes,
episode. How to buy a Ferrari, because it's impossible. Anyway, so that's my third car. Carlos, what's your third car?
Well, if I were to think a third one, actually, it's very close to what Lotus just came out with the Emira. I totally love the shape of that car.
I'm gonna put a picture here of the new Emira. Amazing.
The specs that they did, and the shape of the car, it's just like so nice. Something missing in the current lineup in the market, and there's nothing like that. But I thought about it, something like that, but maybe with a little bit of old flavor, like the old M1 that we used to have from BMW. So could that be a merge of what, maybe a modern interpretation of the M1? What would that look like? Would it be something similar to what Lotus came out, or would it still be something stretch and powerful, making a statement like it was back then when it came out? So a little bit of conflict there, between what they may look like, but I would like to see something more of like Emira's out there, designs from other manufacturers. And I thought BMW, with their old M1, could they come up with something that may be more in line to what these new Emiras look like? That would be interesting in the market, and not restrained just to BMW, but just to give you an idea, other people can go after and say, hey, maybe there's a niche in the market here that could be filled. I don't have to have a super duper powerful all-out engine. You can do the same with smaller power plants, smaller size, because let's face it, a lot of these vehicles have lost track of how big they are.
Yes. Let me tell you, I heard, Carlos, that the waiting list for that car is incredible. People on waiting list for more than 2 years. So there is a need and there's an appetite for that type of car, smaller, nimble driver's car, like you said, not all digital, but some analog elements to it. I think manufacturers should be looking at that, because maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago, the need wasn't there. Roadsters were not selling well. Everyone went to trucks, right? And but I think there is definitely now a different market for it, and there's a need and appetite. So that will be fantastic. I like your ideas, Carlos. So listen, I think I have many more. I know you have many more. So
we can spend all day.
Do part 2 of this episode at some point. I want people to comment what car you wish that they were building. Tell us. We want to know. Let's start the conversation on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Facebook. The link to subscribe is here. I'm going to also put the link to our online store so you can get some goodies from Garage Butts. And hope to see you again in the next episode. Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you, Irving. Catch you later, buddy.
All right. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Bye.